how to make homeschool more fun. We're talking about using board games in our homeschool. This is the tail end of a series where I'm going through some of the most fun games that we've used in our home to educate our kids. Games that they pulled out over and over and over again, and how they add academic or educational value for potentially for you. So the game that we're talking about today is Sequence. If you haven't had a chance to watch the first video in the series, it's linked below. And we talk about the benefits of homeschool, the benefits of using board games in your homeschool. That's super important because we can carry guilt with us when we're playing rather than doing paper and pencil type learning activities. So I highly recommend that you find that video in the descriptions and then run through and see some of our favorite games. We've gone through games like Settlers of Catan, Taboo, Uno, Yahtzee, Monopoly, so fun games. And now we're talking about Sequence. This is a game that my 5 boys played together a lot. And I loved it because it gave room for littles to play with olders and still have fun. Obviously, it's based on cards. And the idea is to get a sequence covered with your color chip on the board game. I believe it's 5 in a row, and it can either be 5 in a row or diagonal or vertical. And the kids draw cards, and then they look on the board, and they will find the card wherever. Oh, Jack is wild. That's why I was confused. Jack is wild. So they'd pick a card, and then they have to find it on the board and then put their chip on there. Can you see what a visual challenge that is for a young, not quite reader to pick a card and then to find it on this big, complicated board to match it and then to create a strategy of what direction they're going to go? There is so much value in this game. I don't even think I can begin to scratch the surface. For your pre-readers, just matching the card to the game board is a huge skill. It's a pre-reading skill to be able to match and identify something that has patterns on it and find it in another location. It's also a higher skill because this piece is large and then the actual piece on the board is smaller. That's a challenge for your young children. Then the strategic challenge of trying to get your pieces either to block your opponent or to create a sequence is an excellent exercise in strategy. This is a great quiet game. It's travelable if you're going to a park or if you're going on vacation. It's an excellent either pre-math activity where the kids can go play sequence, or it's an excellent family game where all ages and stages can play together because you just need to be working on matching in order to make the game work. But it is an excellent, excellent game. Just absolutely love it. It gets 5 thumbs up from each of my boys in the house. So that is what is blah, 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 blah. That's how we're going to wrap up this set of the series. I have more games and I'll circle back later and add more in the future, but those are the core of the most fun games within the Sayler household that we have used to amp up educational learning activities that are fun for the kids. Because our ultimate goal on game day was for the kids to not know that they were learning. But for them just to have fun. And then you can circle back and you can reinforce the things that they have learned at a later date. Oh, this is in that case, you can talk about the symbols of the heart and the diamond and the clover and the spade. You can talk about colors. You can talk about what it means to make a sequence. You can talk about probability. You can talk about teamwork. You can talk about being a humble winner and a gracious loser. There's so much that you can do, even with a game like Sequence. Don't let people tell you that playing games is not school. It's actually a higher level of learning and will add so much value into your child's education, but it'll also do more than that. It'll help build up amazing memories that when they talk about homeschooling in the future, when they look back and they say, "Oh yeah, I was homeschooled. My favorite part were my favorite parts were," and then as they start to tell you, you'll hear things like the game days, the days that you built a fort in the living room and you took all the reading inside. They'll talk about the spontaneous field trip that you took where you got to grind acorns on a grinding stone on a mountaintop. And the things that don't turn out to be worksheets and in your lesson plan per se, or a piece of paper with a grade on it. They'll be experiential. And when your kids fall in love with an experience, then they have a fertile mind to add information on top of it. So, anyway, that's the whole series on how to make homeschool more fun using board games. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss any of the upcoming goodies that we've got at you. I appreciate that you're here. And if you have a favorite game that we missed, please add it in the comments below. And either I'll see if I have it on my shelves and can talk about it in a future video. Have a great day. Happy homeschooling. And remember, homeschool is like parenting, just with school supplies.